Morning. Good afternoon, Bleed Big Blue Nation. Good afternoon, Bleed Big Blue Nation. Happy Friday. Good evening, Bleed Big Blue Nation. Good afternoon, Bleed Big Blue fans. Good afternoon, Bleed Big Blue Nation. Good evening, Bleed Big Blue Nation. This is coming to you live on Franchise Monday. Coming to you on Thursday night. Coming to you live from my 2-minute rant on a Monday morning. Let me tell you something. Coming to you live on a Friday afternoon, coming to you on a Wednesday afternoon, Joe, coming to you on a Tuesday afternoon, coming to you on a Thursday afternoon, coming to you on a fabulous Friday afternoon, coming to you live on a Monday afternoon, coming to you on a Wednesday afternoon.
You there or what? Yo. Yo.
Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Ah. Guess what? I believe we are on live, streaming.
Nice.
The whole thing.
Nice.
Let me see. Let's do an intro and give myself 2 seconds. Ready? Here we go.
All right.
Welcome to the Bleed Big Blue podcast, dedicated coverage of the New York Football Giants by your hosts, Marco, Trifecta, T. Merritt, and JBW.
So what's up, Tim? How you been?
You know, I'm good, man. The last game literally took me over the edge of giving a shit anymore. And now I'm indifferent and just let's get the season over with.
Screw it. What do we got to lose?
Well, the way I looked at it was I didn't want the possibility of McAdoo making a run and coming back. And with the San Francisco loss, I don't even think it's even possible there's any way they can bring him back. And Jerry Reese and McAdoo have already said they're tied at the hip. So, see ya. See you to both of you. Time to clear house. I've literally been thinking over the roster all night. What worked out, had to get some stress out. And I was thinking over the roster of who actually deserves to stay. And who I would want this roster to actually be around. And I'm literally going through, and, the funny part is, you know what, Eli's not the one of the guys I want to get rid of. Well, this is where I stand with. This is where I stand with it. And let me explain myself. Now we're obviously going to be in position to draft a quarterback, but I've heard scouts' takes where they're not sold on really any of them. There's nobody that's 100%. Sam Darnold probably being the closest one as far as being the most ready to play, and I guess Josh Rosen has like the biggest ceiling. But if we get in that draft, and let's say we have a choice between, one of those two, and Saquon Barkley. I'd rather have Giants take the pick especially a top pick like that, that's going to not be 50-50 that he's going to be good. It's almost 100% he's going to be good. I'd rather have them take Saquon Barkley.
You know, I'm not sold on it. I'm just so used to, you know, making sure, you know, how I think of it as running back, you get 4 years if you're lucky.
Yeah, true.
But is he a talent? Yeah, of course. Is he worth a top pick? Yeah, but if you're aging quarterback and you're not really sure what we have with Davis Webb, I don't know. I would really look at a quarterback.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is, you know what, the other people were like, we don't know what we have with Davis Webb. We don't know what we have with Eli. You know, I don't care if we take a quarterback and we have all three. If we have 3 good quarterbacks, guess what? We have someone to trade.
Mm-hmm.
But all I'm scared of having is the Dave Brown and Kent Graham years come back. We lived through them. Some of these younger kids did not. Let's not put them through that. It would be awesome if we transitioned right into another franchise quarterback. That would be awesome. Is it Davis Webb? We don't know. I've heard people say that the organization only views him as like a backup quarterback. But that's all rumor. That's all rumors.
I've heard they really like him, but then, show me. You're not even activating him.
They like him so much they don't want him even to have a chance to play.
Exactly.
Well, and here's my thing, though. I can't gauge it on McAdoo because he's a horrible judge of talent as far as who should be starting and who shouldn't be starting. So I don't even gauge it. I can't gauge it on that at all. And the biggest thing is, this organization right now could love Davis Webb, but who knows if we bring in a new GM and a new coach? What even system we're even bringing in.
I lost my train of thought. How long have we been doing this?
Yeah, we've only been doing it for years, but it's fine.
Yeah.
What is this show? Show 70?
Professional.
Yeah, we're completely professional.
Yeah. At all times. All right. Here was what I was actually going to say. How do you value a head coach versus a GM? Do you think a head coach could make a good head coach, a very good head coach, could make any players play up to their potential? Or do you think a really good GM could hide bad coaching by his selection of players?
In the idealistic fashion, the GM should be working hand in hand with the coach. It should be, what kind of players do you want? Okay, I see where you're coming from, but I see this guy's more talented. And they have discussions like that. This is the kind of players I want. Cool. That's going to work better with my system. The problem with Jerry Reese is obviously awesome at drafting receivers, drafting defensive backs. I can't complain about anything he's done as far as that. But the fact that he devalues linebackers completely has hurt this defense.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the offensive line, I don't even, he's doing what he can. You can only draft what's there. And honestly, all the people that have been ripping on our offensive line, look up Eric Flowers' stats. He hasn't given up a sack since week 2. Honestly, the weak part is the right tackle spot. Every time Bobby Hart's in there, he gets killed. That's when our offensive line is shit. as much as I was on Bobby Hart's, I was on his team. But,
Fan club?
Yeah, I was. But he was a 7th-round pick? So he's playing like a 7th-round pick. Whatever. But I was thinking, this is what I would like to do through this show, because obviously we're not looking for playoffs right now. I would say let's walk through the position groups. Who's a starter? Who's absolutely coming back? And who's going to be, who's the core? And then who's guys that are like, you might be on the team, but you're fighting for a position. There's no guarantee that you're actually going to be on the team come the end of the preseason. And then people that just need to be gone.
Hold on, let's pull up the roster. We'll do that now. You know what? I'll go to I'll pull up the cap and see let's go with that as well.
Well, and that's another thing.
Bear with me.
Let's start it off. The positions of let's go right to the secondary, where obviously some issues are happening within the team. As far as Janoris Jenkins, who's going to be a big cap hit, but all his guaranteed money is gone. I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that.
All right.
he can't get cut, and we get all that money back.
For 2018, Janoris Jenkins, $10 million guaranteed.
$10 million guaranteed?
Yeah, and he's $13 million against the cap.
See,
this is guaranteed base salary.
This is my problem with Janoris Jenkins. Obviously, other than the past 4 weeks, this guy's been one of the top corners in the league.
Mhm.
But obviously, the effort I saw this past week and the past couple weeks is just unacceptable. And again, he's one of those guys that might be on the team because of the contract, but I'd have no problem. You know who would I wouldn't have a problem? I see what Buffalo did. Sean McDermott came in to Buffalo and cleared house.
Mhm.
And he's still doing it. He just benched Tyrod Taylor today.
Yeah, they're bringing in what's his name?
Yeah, Nathan Peterman or whatever it is. Something.
Right.
Yeah, Nathan, the pick quarterback. But got rid of Marcel Darius. Got rid of Sammy Watkins. He didn't give a crap about big names. He pretty much, this is my team. I'm going to get rid of everybody who's not on board for the process. That's what I want this next coach to be. Come in, whoever's not in, see ya.
Right.
And then that's and Janoris Jenkins might be gone just because what he's putting on film right now.
Cole waiting. Let's see.
What is this?
What's up, caller? I think this is.
It's J Money. I'm sorry I was late. Demi Lovato stopped by, so.
you
Oh,
are.
God.
I had some things that
I'll just slip it in.
So we're picking apart the roster to see, keep them, cut them, maybe discuss it a little bit.
Okay,
we just went over.
We done.
We just went over.
We're just started.
Very far. We got to Janoris Jenkins.
What do you feel, Justin?
So here's where I am with Janoris Jenkins. First of all, it's very clear to me that he's the anonymous source. So if McAdoo's the coach next year, Janoris Jenkins won't be here. With that said, he's been such a malcontent that, I don't know. Quite honestly, I wouldn't blame the new coach if the new coach didn't want anything to do with him.
Yeah.
Because for $85 million, I want a guy that's going to show up every Sunday.
And that's my thing. But other than, like, let's say the past month, he's been a top corner in the league.
He's been solid.
Yeah.
He's been. You could literally put him in the top 5 of corners in the league, other than this past month.
I would agree.
I mean, so he's a tough guy. I mean, he is known for being a little bit of a head case.
Right.
He was that in college. That was the only reason he didn't go in the first round when he came out in the draft. So, that's one of the reasons that Rams chose to go with Tremaine Johnson over Janoris Jenkins.
So here's the next guy I want to bring up. Actually, Eddie Lopez on Facebook says JPP needs to give up some of that money. Now, JPP's cap hit next year is, let's see, 11.25 guaranteed and 17.5 against the cap. Second highest paid player for the Giants for next year. Have you seen him do anything yet this year, honestly? Like anything outstanding?
Well, this is what I want to say. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Justin. Go ahead.
So this is what I'm going to say about JPP. I have seen him do something outstanding. He had 3 sacks in the one game that we won. And so I'm sitting down with JPP and I'm saying, what's the problem? Why can you only show up when you – because when he wants to show up, he shows up. But,
yeah.
We need – he's as talented as any defensive end in the league, except for the fact that he's missing a finger or two. All right? So, and there are defensive ends in this league that are less talented than he is from a physical standpoint that wreak havoc. Are you telling me that Adrian Claiborne, who's a great player in Atlanta, but are you telling me that Adrian Claiborne, a player that had 6 sacks this past week, is more physically talented than JPP? It's a motor issue.
And first of all, Claiborne's got like a dead right arm. He's got like nerve damage in his right arm. So he only uses like one arm.
No disrespect to Adrian Claiborne, he's an Iowa boy, which is where I'm from. So Adrian Claiborne, respect. Marco, give him the number. I think it would be the first time we had a non-Giant call in.
Yeah,
516-453-9383 if anyone is out there and wants to call on in.
Here's my thing with JPP, and I'm with you, Justin, is the talent's there, and just to be realistic, there's no way Giants are cutting him after a year on that contract. I'd be very surprised. Granted, if a new GM comes in, new coach, who knows? It might not be business as usual. But I really think Spagnuolo is hurting these defensive ends. It used to be we thought we would see NASCAR package with the amount of defensive ends we had coming in the preseason, with like legit starters that were like 5th on our depth chart.
Right.
But for whatever reason, Spagnuolo plays Vernon and JPP the whole game and does not take them out. And I'm not giving them an excuse. I'm not giving them an excuse. But, move the guys around. Put them on the same side. Do whatever you got to do. But just keeping them in the same spot, playing them the whole damn game, does nothing. And it's easy to game plan against.
And this just in, it's not like we don't have other talent at the position that's usable. I think Avery Moss, usable.
Hey, Absolutely. I think he's the
I
times
think
he's
Kerry
been in,
Wynn
he's played well.
usable.
He's played well.
So, I mean, listen, I'm a Giants fan. This pains me more than anything that I will say for the rest of the time that I'm with Bleedbigblue, which will hopefully be for a decade. But the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles are good is because they have 8 defensive linemen and they rotate them in and out.
Yep.
I mean, they have defensive linemen that are playing 30 snaps a game, so fourth quarter they're fresh. It's not rocket science. You know? I think that this defense is a good defense on a base level. I think that with the injuries that happened on the offensive side, immediately after that happened, and when they got to look at the offense, the way that it operates, and they realized what they would have to do, I think they quit.
I agree.
So those guys have to look in the mirror.
But Jerry Reese also has looked in the mirror over the linebacker core. We're literally having to start undrafted rookies because we have no other choice. Kelvin Shepard came off his couch and was our starting middle linebacker this past week.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy? I don't know if we want to get into this early, but I was thinking, let's say the Giants get a top 3 pick.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, just run with me here. Let's say the Denver Broncos offer, at minimum, their second-round pick for Eli Manning. All right? And let's just say, for the sake of the point that I'm about to make, that the Giants take it. All right? So that would mean that the Giants have three picks in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
All right? I was thinking what you were thinking, Tim, because the first thing that I would want to do, I'm thinking if we have 3 picks in the first 2 rounds and 2 of those picks are in the top 3 of each round, I think you take a left tackle somewhere in there. You move Flowers over to right tackle. Then you have to make a decision on Pugh in free agency. And then if we trade Eli, we got to take a quarterback in there. And for the love of God, I want a dynamic back. But Jerry Reese has done such a disservice for this team that if they don't sign Justin Pugh and they and with their current linebacker state, they would still have 2 major positional needs, and that's not even bringing up if you want to upgrade the secondary once ERC leaves or retires, and you have to make a decision on Eli Apple. So, I'm pissed as hell at Jerry Reese. Anybody that listened to my 2-minute warning, which was 4 minutes and 47 seconds, can certainly hear that. But Jerry Reese, I mean, this roster is putrid at every position except the wide receiver position, and they had a massive injuries at the wide receiver position.
And tight end.
Yeah.
And tight end is good. And let me tell you, whoever it is that's running the offense next year, I mean, I'm going to give you a free piece of advice. Put Ingram and Beckham on the same goddamn side, sorry for swearing, and make defensive choose. You can't cover them both. And that's why I say if they get a dynamic running back, they could really put pressure on defenses at all three levels across the middle of the field. And in the NFL in 2017, that's how you win. So, John Mara, give me a call. I'll be your GM. I'll be your Doug. I'll be your GM. Let's go.
And I just want to be a little, so we can actually be positive and not just be on the Giants.
I'm getting smiley faces and gun emojis. That's how the season's going in the chat right now.
So I just want to put it out there. Sterling Shepard has shown me that he can be a number one wide receiver if he has to be. This kid has stepped up these past 2 weeks since being back from injury. And it just shows me we're going to be just fine with Odell, Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram as our core offense. And hopefully McAdoo's not there anymore, so we don't have to go.
Decision.
So we don't need a 3 wide receiver set every damn time.
Well, and quite honestly, for everything that I just laid out in terms of do we trade Eli if we can get a top 2 pick?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't trade Eli, or if he doesn't retire, if he's still with the team at the beginning of the year, it's not a death sentence.
Absolutely not.
Listen. I know the 49ers defense is one of the worst in the league, but that doesn't change the fact that Eli is the top-rated passer going into last week in the red zone in the league with our offense the way that it is.
Yep.
And he was dropping the ball in some spots on Sunday where only his receivers could get it. And so that made me realize that, part of the issue with Eli, and this is something that every Giants fan knows, is Eli, he looks like he's afraid all the time, but he's really not afraid. He trusts himself more than anybody, and he's willing to take shots and take chances if he thinks it'll help the team win. And honestly, when they're 1-9, he's got nothing to lose.
Yep.
If you look at that fumble that he had early in the game, well, not early in the game, I don't know when it was. When we were driving down.
It was early in the game. It was.
I think he knew he was going down, and if you look at it, he was just trying to throw the ball forward to something, but he was going down, and so he didn't really have a forward motion with his arm, so it came out as a fumble. But
the problem with that is that the something was nothing. There was no one there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He's a seasoned enough quarterback to know, take the damn sack. What yard line were they on again?
And honestly, you guys have been watching the game just like I have. The past probably 2 years, dude, every time Eli gets touched and he has the ball in his hand, it's almost a 50% shot that he's going to fumble.
Right. But my thought is, we're 1-9, so Eli's probably thinking, what the hell do I have to lose? If we're 6-3, if we're 6-3, does Eli make that same decision?
Yep.
All right, let's see. We got a caller. What's up, caller?
Hello?
Where are you calling from? Hello.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, man? It's Tony from Hoboken.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
Tony?
what's going on, Tony?
Eli's neighbor,
what's up, guys?
Tony, what's up?
What's up, man? Hey, listen, man. Eli has a no-trade clause. He's not going nowhere. He's not going anywhere. He's not leaving. He loves it in this area. His family loves it in this area. He's going to retire here. I'm telling you, you give him a good offensive line, and he's going to pick everybody apart. He's actually no. Do you know that he's ranked number 1 in the red zone? Eli Manning. So he's not doing that bad. It's the offensive line. It's bad. It's bad. It's gotten better now. I love Brett Jones. I remember I called one time before here talking about Brett Jones and saying you got to give him a shot. He's like a cinder block, and he's very technical, and he's awesome. We got to bring him back. And I agree with you guys when you say move Flowers to right, get a left tackle, and definitely Shepard. Shepard is a number 1 guy. He's a number 1 guy. I am definitely not afraid of trading Odell Beckham for some picks. I am definitely not afraid because I'm afraid if you're going to get a franchise quarterback and you're going to unleash Odell Beckham to a franchise rookie quarterback, Odell will tear him apart. Give me the ball. What do you mean you're not going to give me the ball? It'll be sick. I'm telling you, you got to get rid of Odell. I love this show, and I'll keep listening off the air. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
right, no problem. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, man.
No. And I just want to put out there, I agree with everything that Tony said, other than the Odell thing.
Right.
Odell is not that bad a guy, guys. You know what? I know a lot of people listen to our co-host Jimmy and thinks Odell's like the worst player ever, or he's like this worst guy ever.
Those people need to realize though that Jimmy is just angry in general.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's one of the angriest people that I love Jimmy. Jimmy, if you're listening, please call in. But he's angry all the time.
I do want to put out there, we had our first Sunday show, and it was just me and Jimmy. And we were very subdued and very, agreeable on Sunday morning. I think it's the Wednesday nights where we really well, it's Wednesday nights, and if you ever see us on social media, pretty much all week long. But Sunday morning, we're good.
Yeah. Was he heavily medicated? Serious?
Yes, he was.
All right, we have a bunch of comments flying in. Let's cover them.
Go ahead.
This one I know you're gonna love. Let's go Facebook. Do we have a shot at Nick Saban?
You know what?
And
you know what? I'm glad Jimmy's not on here right now because of this. Me and him argued about this the other week. Nick Saban's old as crap. Let's get somebody who actually thinks differently. And guess what? Nick Saban, yes, he's doing an awesome job in college, but he gets the top talent every year. He has guys that are his third stringers that are like 5-star athletes. So it really doesn't show me anything that you're beating other college teams when everybody on your team is that good. So, and Nick Saban quit on his damn team when he was in the NFL before. So why would we bring him to the Giants? And that's what I'll say about that.
The way that I'll answer the Nick Saban question is to sort of play off what Tim said a little bit, because Tim, he's a pretty smart guy. Tim, how old are you tomorrow?
I will be 39.
39?
Yeah.
So for a 39-year-old guy, Tim's been around the block. He knows what he's talking about. But if I'm Nick Saban,
what a dick.
Do I? If I'm
I like
Nick Saban,
I like the backhanded compliment. Go ahead.
If I'm Nick Saban, do I leave my job at Alabama, where I get the top talent every year, to go do it in the NFL with a team that is in such dire need of roster upgrade in a few key spots? I mean, I know he has an ego and he wasn't successful in the NFL, but if I'm him, I'm not leaving my cush job.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And he's going to use it as a negotiating ploy anyway. He'll just get more money from Alabama.
All right, let's go to the next.
I guess
we got
a
a
call waiting. What's with this new sound?
So you know. What's up, caller? What's your name and where are you calling from? I hear you breathing, bro.
You thought there would be a show where I wouldn't call in, didn't you?
I thought we were going to slip away.
I want to ask you guys: are both of you sold on Barkley if we get the second pick, are both of you sold on choosing Barkley?
It matters what the organization likes, and hopefully it's a new coach. It's what they think about Darnold, what they think about Rosen. But if they aren't completely sold on either one of those, I'd rather them go Barkley.
Well, what I was going to say is that I personally think at least we might be getting a bit blinded by how we're used to Jerry Reese drafting, and I feel like it might be a good idea for us to actually trade down and potentially get more picks, and maybe in the later first round or early second round, because I feel like in terms of need positions, we definitely need linebackers and, few select O-linemen, and I feel like filling those holes would be a lot better than just trying to go for Barkley and hoping that one talent will completely fix all of the holes that we've observed this season.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Go ahead, Justin.
So here's what I'll say about that. And first of all, does anybody remember what my nickname for this caller was? I don't remember, but I remember it was a good one.
It was a good one. And I when he called in Sunday morning, I forgot it. I was going to say it. I can't.
We're going to have to
remember?
Look at the archive.
Caller, what was your nickname?
I may or may not remember, but I'm
he remembers. He just wants us to.
He remembers. He just wants his question. So here's what I'll say about Saquon Barkley. So the way that this
we're gonna have to go back to the archive. We're gonna have to listen to the old show.
The way that this draft is gonna break down. So first of all, Saquon Barkley, for as good as he was in the first half of the college football season, he's had a rough past two and a half games. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's all going to come down to how he grades out at the combine. Okay? The follow-up question that you have to ask yourself about that is there's two questions. One, what's a quarterback situation?
Yeah.
And there's two aspects to that. Is Eli sticking around? And if he's not, or when he's not around anymore, do you believe in Davis Webb or do you value one of these quarterbacks that are available? If the answer to that question is yes, you appreciate Davis Webb and you don't want to invest an early pick in a quarterback, then the next question is, where do you value these offensive linemen, and where do you think you can slot them? Because there's a very real possibility that you may be able to trade down and still get Saquon Barkley and pick up a pick that's going to allow you to get an offensive lineman somewhere later in the draft. So, but if Saquon Barkley grades out at the combine as the best running back since Adrian Peterson,
yeah,
and you're keeping Eli, then you take him there too. So I just know that, I remember days when we used to be able to run the football, and the fact that we can't do that anymore, except with Orleans Darkwa, who may or may not be healthy at any point in any game. It's depressing.
No, the second he has a good run, he's grabbing his hamstring or his back hurts. He's out within 2 plays after a good run.
Are there any teams with 2 picks in the first round this year?
The Browns.
Cleveland and Buffalo.
And the Bills?
If I had to take a guess, it would probably be Cleveland. You know, living in Ohio, I can tell you that pretty much everyone from Cleveland just wants an actual franchise quarterback that doesn't make them want to go to their to the highest roof they can find and just stare off into the abyss.
Yeah.
But
well, that's the funny thing is Sam Darnold's already come out and said he wants nothing to do with Cleveland. If they're they have the top pick, he's not coming out.
Oh, I'm well aware of what Darnold is saying, but what I'm saying is...
I'm not going to lie, that kind of makes me want him. I kind of want him as a Giant because you know what? Who didn't want to go to a team? Eli. He didn't want to be a damn Charger.
Well, you know what? I think there's a difference between not wanting to be a Charger and not wanting to be on the Browns. I think there's a very different situation when it comes to
But
Browns.
Either way, you don't want a championship.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I guess what I would say is that I think even if Darnold decides that he's not coming, you would have I still think they would they would really want the first 2 picks in the draft and just draft the 2 top quarterbacks because at this point, if you look at some of the people they've given up and haven't drafted.
I agree.
You know, I think it's one of those things where it's like, eventually, if I pick enough of them, I'll finally get one that is actually
the odds are with them. The odds are with them.
So you're saying that Cleveland would want the first and second pick in this year's draft to take both quarterbacks? Yeah. And then if they hit on one, they would just trade the other?
So they just go 1 quarterback, 2 quarterback. You know,
I mean, if you're...
that sounds very Cleveland-like. But
right. If you're... I mean, they've tried everything else, so why the hell not, right?
Cleveland does have like 6 picks in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, and that's why I was thinking I'd imagine they'd probably give us, I believe they have the Bears pick this year, and then
they have their own
another
pick.
One that's pretty early. That's probably going to be pretty early in the second round too. So if I had to take a guess, that would probably be what ends up happening. And if that is what ends up happening, obviously, ideally, what I would hope would be at the point where I don't think it'll happen, but if Barkley drops to that point, pick up him. If not, grab an O-lineman at that spot. Then beginning of the second round, pick up 2 linebackers, and for the third through, I guess you could probably trade up just like they did this year, but assuming nothing for the 3rd through 7th, just go all alignment. I mean, as stupid as that sounds, like, you gotta hit on something. Those are the 2 biggest needs. You gotta fix it.
The other thing that the Giants have to do is find a solution at middle linebacker.
100%, man.
Wait, before we get to the linebackers, we were on offensive linemen, and a bunch of course, Eric Flowers' name is coming up in the comment section consistently about his fifth-year option.
Flowers has not been the worst this year, in my opinion.
And should we still move him to right?
He's just in, Giants fans. Listen, this is going to come across as a super hot take to some of you, but it's factually accurate information. And if you don't believe me, go back and check the stats and the tape. Eric Flowers has not given up a sack since the second game of the season.
Yep.
Has not given up a sack since the second game of the season. So if you want to blame the offensive line on Eric Flowers, then you're just sticking with the status quo of what's been going on the past few years and sticking your head in the sand.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's Eric Flowers' fault. I think Jerry has been.
I'm saying I'm not talking to the caller on the phone. I'm talking to the Facebook commenters that are saying the offensive line is the problem. Eric Flowers is not the problem. The problem is the middle of the offensive line. The fact that Weston Richburg is 114 pounds and undersized at the beginning of the year caused a big problem. And the fact that they had to move Pugh outside of the middle because they were convinced that Bobby Hart was the answer on the right side. That's the problem with the offensive line.
I'm going to put this out there too, Justin, is I think Justin Pugh is a better right tackle than he is a guard.
I would agree. I would agree 100%. But when you take Justin Pugh out of the middle, you create a problem for yourself.
You can grab a guard better than you can grab a tackle.
Oh, yes, I agree with that. But I'm saying the issue this season was that they were not properly. They took Justin Pugh out of the middle
mid-season.
When they misfired on Bobby Hart. And so you made yourself worse in the middle where you're already weak because you invested in a center that's not meant to play in the NFL.
Yeah. I saw the Giants just signed John Greco.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. That honestly,
that's a good signing, but it's a little late. I'm not saying he would have fixed the problem or anything, but he's a guard that we could have probably used at the beginning of the year. You know, as far as John,
definitely.
As far as John Jerry, see you later.
2 weeks ago, Jerry Reese said we had a run in us.
We had a what?
We had a run in us. We were gonna get a few wins together, string a few wins together. The season wasn't over.
No, he said we were gonna streak.
You know who else is gonna run? Me.
We are on the streak, a losing streak.
Hold on. This just in. We're on a losing streak.
Shocking information.
Yeah. And I do want to know, Giants also picked up Akeem Ayers this week. Why are we making these moves now? We could have used these guys beginning of the season.
If I had to take Jets trying to save his job.
Yeah, that would be correct.
I've always backed Jerry Reese, but the fact that he refuses to do anything with the linebacker position kills our defense. And he put too much faith in McAdoo actually making his players better on the offensive line. He didn't realize that Ben just says, do your job, and I'll do mine. But he doesn't. He likes to point his finger at everybody else, but never says it's his job.
Oh, did you guys see? You know how Mara put out the statement of support for? Well, I mean, it technically wasn't a statement of support, but just saying like we're not firing McAdoo until the end of the year,
right.
sort of thing. Did you guys see McAdoo's response to that when a reporter asked him about it?
Go ahead, fill us in.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's absolutely fucking hilarious. He said, I'm almost finished grading the film. We're going to make the team better. Even when it's not a hard question and it's completely unrelated, he can't shut up about looking at the tape, looking at the film. It's become an absolute joke now.
Well, you saw I know Marco. I know you heard the Greg Jennings interview.
Yes.
With Colin Cowherd, and I was listening to that too. And Greg Jennings like Ben McAdoo's an absolute genius, and he gets guys prepared, but he's not a head coach. He's like, and I was with him 7 years.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that the inherent idea of looking at the film is bad. I'm saying that he doesn't have the best grasp
I'm agreeing.
once
I know. I'm
the media
agreeing
gets
with you.
aggressive.
No, I'm agreeing with you. He can't stand being questioned.
Mm-hmm.
He can't stand it.
He's arrogant. But he has nothing to be arrogant about because I'm a WWE fan, for those that don't know. Obviously, we did the whole NWO thing. And every time I see Ben McAdoo now, I break out and make you stop chant. I break out in Kurt Angle's "You Stop" chant for Ben McAdoo.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Listen,
it's damn true.
Well done. Here's the thing. Here's my concern. I'm praying to the football gods that John Mara grows the spine that's needed to make the moves that are needed. Listen,
apparently he's personally responding to letters, responding to letters sent to him. So I would kind of hope that's a good indicator.
If that's the case, we need to send a letter by tomorrow.
He sat on Coughlin forever, which I don't want to have that discussion here this evening, but he sat on Coughlin forever, for better or worse, and I just hope that he sees the same thing that we see out on the field. I don't really see any way that he couldn't, but I know that his dad, Wellington Mara, would have had the wherewithal to make a change. It probably would have been after this year, like John's going to do, if he does it. But I would have complete confidence in the fact that Wellington Mara would know what to do here. First of all, if Wellington Mara was around, I don't think that Ben McAdoo is your head coach, because he's not a giant guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, Ray Hanley was a head coach. You know that, right?
Yeah.
McAdoo still doesn't have more wins than him, though. He's
than Ray Hanley?
Wait, what was Ray Hanley's record for those 2 years? Does anyone know? Does anyone have the Google?
I think he had 14 total wins, and then and McAdoo's currently sitting at 12, I believe.
12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold on, let's get the fact check. Where is our stat boy?
First of all, our intern shows up half the time now. What is going on with this shit?
Ray Hanley. Yes, 14 and 18.
So Ben is racing for Ray right now.
And Ben, so let's, I know this is a family show. With the YouTube center.
You're not going to swear?
So I'm not going to swear. But I will say that Ben McAdoo and Ray Handley have quite a few things in common. One, they both had similar losing records after 2 seasons. 2, they both, there's been reports that they both had fights and or arguments with their players.
Yeah.
3, they both have classically bad hair.
Yeah.
So, is there going to come a time when we find out that Ben was in a van somewhere?
I knew you were going to take it there.
I don't know if all the young followers know what the hell we're talking about.
You know what? Do your
Right.
research on Ray Handley. You'll find out.
Go to the archives.
Go to the archives.
Hit up your Google machine.
Myron made me and Marco look it up. So.
So you would have to do yourself a favor and figure that one out.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying both Ben McAdoo and Ray Handley both blow?
Quite very.
Yeah.
Very astute.
Terrible coaching.
Horrific coaches.
You know what? Here's the poll. What coach would you rather have, Ray Handley or Ben McAdoo?
Oh.
That's the Twitter poll for tonight.
So.
And then everybody who picks Ben, we're just going to go off on you because Ray has a better record.
So, in what scenario does Ben stay?
We'd have to win the rest of the game. Period.
That or he chooses to accept going back down to offensive coordinator. One of the two.
That'll never
Nope,
happen.
that'll never happen.
Oh, I know it'll never happen. I'm just saying, if it did, that would be a scenario where he would actually probably stay.
He's too prideful. Right off the bat, I had a bad feeling. It felt like they signed him. It was rushed. The guy didn't seem prepared from day one, where he comes in with like a quadruple extra large suit. I mean, it's stupid to say that, but
Right.
aren't you
But you have to
interviewing
realize-
at other places?
No, but you're exactly right, Marco. Because it's New York. We like to look good. We take pride in the way that we look. Even when we look ridiculous, we think we look good.
The question is, guys, you know what? Who do you want?
That's tough.
I've
Go ahead, Marco.
I've convinced him on David Shaw.
Yep. That's the guy who I want, David Shaw.
Smart coach. Harbaugh tree of school of hard knocks over there.
Yep. He's been on the NFL radar for years now.
Mm-hmm.
He coaches a pro offense in college. He's coach stars. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
David
To
Shaw,
me-
come on down.
To me, the other question that's important is who's the GM.
Yeah, I'm getting tongue-tied. Those are the hardest decisions. You know, just even picking a GM. How does like a fan scout a GM? We're not on like the inside of like who's really killing draft. You know, we only get like the periphery.
And you're right, but I have two names that I would take in a New York minute.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we could convince the big tuna to come back and shop for the groceries, I'd be okay with
First
that.
of all, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because, you know what? I know Jimmy has been pumping this up. If he's an advisor, sure. But you guys realize how old Parcells is, right?
I don't care. He's still got a football mind. I don't care. How old's Tom Coughlin? And let me say this, Giants fans. I was the first person that screamed for Tom Coughlin to leave. And I will tell you today, with no shame at all in my game,
You miss him.
that, Tom, I'm sorry. I love you. You were a god, and I got what I wished for, and I regret it. So I don't care about his age because Tom's successful in a similar role, and I think Bill could do it. The other guy that I would bring over would be Dave Gettleman, who was formerly with the Giants. I think he's with the Panthers right now. Is that still accurate?
Actually,
No,
I
he
think
was
he's
fired.
with the Panthers anymore. Yeah, he got fired.
He's fired.
For what?
GM, was he?
No, but why did he get fired?
That horrible Panthers season where they were in the Super Bowl and then they were like terrible
Garbage.
the next year after. Yeah.
So I'd bring him back.
You know what? Yeah. First of all, let's stop bringing back Giants. Let's get somebody outside the box.
No, but that's what they do, Tim, and that's what
I agree with. I agree. But you know
quite
what?
honestly, that's what we need to do because with McAdoo, we didn't do that and it got us in trouble.
Well, no, technically he was already in. He was there for 2 years, and I don't know when you're considered part of the Giant family, but I think he was in.
Yeah, but it was mixed match right from the beginning. You know,
Yeah.
Coughlin wasn't getting the players, or the players weren't playing in the Coughlin system. So out went
Gilbride. Well, you know what? And to go on Justin's rant, I was the first one that said, get rid of Gilbride, because I fucking hated Gilbride.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? You get what you ask for, just like Justin. But I'm still not asking for Kelvin Gilbride back. I'm sorry, Mister.
What about
let's run a draw all the
we're
damn
talking,
time.
Yeah, but we're also talking, you know, Spagnuolo leaves, Perry Farrell, he gets fired, Spagnuolo comes back.
And you know what? And this, as much as I like Spagnuolo, I was reading crap today. So he's been our coordinator for what, past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the years they've been
2 of the 3 years we've been one of the worst defenses in the league. You know what? See ya. See ya, Spags. And that's the other reason too not to fire McAdoo. Who the hell is going to be the head coach if you fire McAdoo mid-season?
Yeah,
Mike
well,
Sullivan?
listen, I'm going to take it a step further on that. Because here it is. All right? Again, on my epic 2-minute warning rant, I begged for him to be fired. But what I realized when I had a chance to calm down is if they fire him, whoever they bring in, they're going to bring in with the interim tag, right?
Yeah.
And when coaches have the interim tag, what do they try and do? They try to prove that they deserve the full-time gig by winning games. And quite honestly, this may sound like blasphemy, but I don't want the Giants to win game at this point. There's no reason for it.
I really don't think they're trying to win anymore.
But if they brought in an interim head coach, they definitely would be. And I think that the roster is talented enough that an interim head coach could pump the guys up and they could win a few games.
Yeah.
And so the only reason that makes it worth it is if you have complete confidence in the guy that you picked and you're going to give him the job. But if he's going to win a few games and you're still going to say, he's not the guy, we need a new coach, then what the hell did you do? So I'd rather I'd rather let McAdoo be inept because I don't think that he can strategize on how to win a game.
His press conferences are amusing me, though. His press conferences after the game are absolutely amusing. Because he's oblivious. He's oblivious.
He's an idiot.
They counted how many times he said, I'm going to review the tape, or let's look at the tape. There's something like 12. You're going to have to look at the tape.
I love what they said last week. They asked him a question of, what you tell him at halftime? He literally goes, he ums and then goes to the next question.
Hold on. I'll play the clip. This is what Ben McAdoo said at halftime to the players. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah, and that's why the players were all pumped up.
Yep, they performed.
What do you guys think is the reason that Ben is going off? It seems like he's picking on the secondary as who was technically our strength going into the season. That's who he's picking on as far as the people that are being a problem on our team.
Because it's I'm trying to think how to say this. He reminds me a lot of our not-so-esteemed President of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. In the sense that President Trump will point you 6 ways to Sunday just so that you're not focused on what the real issue is. The real issue with this team is twofold. One, it's the offense, which can be broken down into 2 subcategories. The fact that Ben McAdoo has no idea how to structure a proper game plan, and 2, the rash of injuries. But the second issue is McAdoo's inability to be able to manage his players. And if you think about it, we saw signs of it as early as last year. Do you remember last year when Odell was having a fit on the sidelines? Because I remember 2 years ago when Odell was doing it, Tom Coughlin was the one that went over there and told him to calm down. We can't get Ben McAdoo over there to save our lives. And also, parenthetically, the boat trip, as much as I want to blame those wide receivers, you can blame the head coach on that too. Because if I'm an NFL head coach, I'm telling my guys the week before the playoffs, hey guys, let's stay focused. Let's bring everything in-house. Let's get tight. And let's go whip some ass in Green Bay.
Yeah, keep it low-key.
That's what I'm doing. And so if that didn't happen, then to me, that means one of two things. That means either McAdoo said it and the players don't respect him, which is a problem, or he didn't say it, which is a problem. Take your pick.
If I had to guess, he didn't say it.
Oh, I know he didn't say it.
McAdoo takes me as the dude that goes in the locker room, closes his door, shuts the blinds, is on his computer watching film, and trying to construct ways to fix things, but doesn't tell anybody.
He's not self-aware. So
No.
I agree with you 100%. He probably goes in the locker room and he thinks that as long as he's doing his job the way that he's going to do it, they have a chance to win. And so that confidence is good because that's what gets you to the level where he's at, right?
Yeah.
But his failure to be able to adapt and change from player personnel to strategic game planning is quite obvious. I mean, anybody remember 2007? It wasn't that long ago. Coughlin was going to lose this team. And he had the wherewithal to change his – he said, you know what? If I'm going out, I've tried everything. It's not working. I'm going to try doing what Mike Strahan wants, and we'll see what happens. And you know what happened? We won the damn thing.
Yep.
Because if you are a good coach in this league, you have to be willing to adapt and change. Ben McAdoo didn't get that memo because he's got Napoleon syndrome. He's still trying to prove himself.
Yep.
All right, Nick on YouTube says that McAdoo was so invested in his first year as a head coach with the offense that now he's trying to take control of the whole team, including the defense, and it's retaliating on him. It's backfiring.
Well,
the
the
problem
defensive
is,
players don't.
He's supposed to be, quote, unquote, an offensive genius, and our offense has gotten worse every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have been the fact that he was never really an offensive genius. The fact is he came in with Odell, and Odell made him look 10 times better as an offensive coordinator than he was.
And then he had Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Yep.
With dynamite receivers.
Well, and the fact that, first of all, Mike McCarthy, he is the offensive coordinator and coach.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, Ben McAdoo was Mike Sullivan at the beginning of the season. He's offensive coordinator in title only.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Mike's getting us up there. We're almost scoring 20.
We're giving up 40.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and that's the other thing too. Let's say if technically Ben got fired Monday, Spagnuolo would more than likely be the interim head coach. And obviously, these players don't respect Spags because why is no one asking Spags what the hell's going on with your defense?
Well, listen, Spags, he looked befuddled on the sideline in San Francisco by C.J. Beathard, third-round draft pick. Couldn't figure it out.
One of the worst offenses in the NFL at that point. With a rookie quarterback, they're down to like their number 3 wide receiver playing number 1. And they look like a high-powered offense against us.
Guys crossing the middle. 3 guys, nowhere around them, all 3. 18-yard routes all day. Straight up the middle, crossing over the middle. Our middle linebacker, who was on the couch a Friday day before, nowhere to be found.
And just because it works with Chase Blackburn does not mean it works every time.
I want to discuss the middle linebackers, I really do, but I want to say one thing about those crossing routes over the middle. First of all, it's been an issue all season. Anybody remember the Tampa Bay game? O.J. Howard running across the formation and being wide open
because of Eli
for
Apple.
his first NFL touchdown.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Casillas, defensive captain, when you're talking about your plays, I'm all about accountability, but I don't want to hear you're tired. I don't want to hear you're tired. That's not tired. Tired is not a word that you should have as an NFL player. Take it out of the vocabulary. But let's talk about middle linebackers.
I got a question for you about that. We'll get to middle linebackers. What pisses you off more? The Jonathan Casillas tired quote or the Ben McAdoo player self-motivation quote?
No, the Ben McAdoo.
The Ben McAdoo, it's not my job. Killed
100%.
me. Because you were, first of all, you're right on point. You should watch Justin's video. It's out. It's on YouTube now. You were right on point. You know, I try to bring you up. You try to bring me down. I understand.
Yep. Put me on the list of shame.
Which is also on the YouTube channel. Check it out.
Yeah.
But you're right on point. As far as Ben, if your job is not to motivate the players, what technically is your job? You don't coach the defense. You're not. You took the play calling is gone. So what actually are you doing?
He's looking at the tape.
And if he says that his job is player discipline at this point, then he needs to pound sand. That was an amazing self-edit, Marco. By the way, Marco, I want to let you know that in that rant, which is on YouTube now, I recorded 3 previous versions of that where just in the middle of it, I just started swearing at Ben McAdoo. Just loudly. And then I was like, we're not going to be able to put that on YouTube. If they catch the swears in a 2-hour podcast, they're going to catch the swear in a 4-minute video. But there was one time when I was just like, I think I called him an MFer.
I can just see Justin sitting in his room, like sitting down, has like his pad in front of him, and just trying to record this video, then getting himself so pissed off that he just starts swearing like a sailor in the middle of the video.
So in the one, and I deleted it. Otherwise, I would send it to you, Marco. But I was so mad at myself that I deleted it. I swore, like I said that he was a fat MFer, Ben McAdoo.
He's getting all personal.
And then I immediately swore at myself for swearing. And then the video was ruined.
Yeah.
The voice recording, and we had to move on.
The whole players need to be self-motivated. Everyone gets a paycheck at the end of the week. Like, I couldn't believe he said it. I was like, are you? What are you thinking? Why the hell are you showing? As someone's bringing up on Facebook right now, why are you showing motivational stepbrothers like awkward videos and shit like that?
And I'll take it a step. Further. Like, I'm not an NFL head coach. Although John Mara, if you want to hire the people at Bleedbigblue, I know we'd be glad to come in and take any position with the organization that you feel like we would be qualified for. Mm-hmm. And I would venture to say that we're more qualified for certain positions than Ben McAdoo. That's right, Ben. Shots fired. Get at me.
There you go.
First of all, I think we need to be GM.
Absolutely.
I think we all just come in via the GM by committee.
We'll be the first GM by committee. Could you imagine us showing up to the draft? Jimmy would be all medicated. James would show up and he'd be all happy.
Hold on, the draft is on. Put up a poll on Twitter, see what people are thinking.
Yeah. Who do we take here? We're not sure.
You know how bad, like, those arguments would be for a draft pick?
Oh. I mean, could you imagine if the four of us were in the war room for the Giants?
Like, are you kidding me?
This is what would be happening. Tim and Jimmy would be arguing heatedly about any prospect. I would be friendly with Demi in the draft room.
Justin's not even paying attention. He's just using his power to get Demi over.
And Marco would be playing sound clips of shame, 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 and I'll just slip it in.
I would never do that. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So,
I'll just slip it in.
We went way off the rails there.
Yeah,
we did. We were talking about motivation of players.
Oh, yeah. So McAdoo's never been a leader in any way because, in that position, if you're in Ben McAdoo's position, just like Jerry Reese did in his press conference, you have to take all of the blame. That's what a leader does. You take the blame where it's not needed.
Exactly what you're saying, Justin. I just want to put out there, in the beginning of the year, when I got mad at Ben for throwing Eli under the bus, and this is like preseason or something like that. He's like, he just got to play better this year or whatever the hell he said. You guys were like, or I know Jimmy was. He's like, no, that's what Ben should be saying. That's the way Ben is on everybody. He likes to pick people apart in the press, but never take any blame onto himself. Eli's more professional than Ben is.
The only way that's acceptable, but now we know that it's not true, is if Ben was doing that to try and motivate Eli. But he just admitted that it's not his job to motivate, which means he was just being an asshole, which, you know what? I'm sorry that this is going to piss off you two, but Ben McAdoo, F you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. I literally put in Google job of a coach, and I clicked the first link. So A is advisor, B is counselor, C is friend or supporter, D is facilitator or guide, E is instructor or teacher, and F is motivator. A coach must serve as an inspiration and encouragement to the learners. One way to show motivation is by giving positive feedback to boost a person's morale. and it gives you a few other traits that a coach should have. G, organizer and planner. H, role model.
Have you guys ever heard Ben say anything positive after a game? Like,
no.
You know what?
Not that he's ever had anything positive to say.
No.
Like,
even going back to last year, did he ever be like, hey, so-and-so played awesome today?
That's not true.
That's because he has no personality.
That's not true.
He opens up the, what is it, Monday's press conference with, like, good points that the Giants had on the game prior. So there you go. At 1-8.
What about?
I'm not sure how many there were.
Ben's got to start helping me with the list of glory after these games because it's getting tough.
I have a question for you guys about them.
Oh my God!
I was thinking about this the other day.
Mhm.
So, I've heard a lot of stories about NFL head coaches of all types that, they're up, till 2 a.m, and then they're in the office at 5. We've even heard that Coughlin sometimes slept in his office. We've heard those stories about John Gruden.
Mhm.
Can you imagine Ben McAdoo, like, staying in his office past, like, 7 p.m.? He's probably like, I got to get a friggin' pizza. I'll see ya. And then he falls asleep.
Ben takes me as a guy that he goes home to his room because he still lives at his parents' house.
His wife was at the press conference, right? Like when he got the job.
Yeah.
There's a Mrs. McAdoo.
Mhm. I think he has 2 kids as well.
Oh God.
Do you guys think he started like, you know what, I got to really become a good head coach. Let me look at some coaches that have been in the New York State. And he looked at Pat Riley and was like, you know what, if I get my hair like that, I could be like Pat Riley.
You think he was like, so next week is going to be a different coach? Different hairstyle for a different coach, or he's just going to stick with the Pat Riley?
You know what? If I'm Ben, and I know my job's pretty much done, first of all, I'm telling Mike Sullivan, guess what? I'm taking the play calling back. So too bad. I'm doing at this point. I'm going to call defenses too. So Spags, you're out as well. Because what's the difference at this point?
This is such a mess. Oh my God, I can't even take this season. This is the worst season that the Giants have ever started, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Amazing.
And this is how bad it is. All right? I'm known in the Lancaster area as, like, the biggest, like, everybody that knows me knows that I'm the biggest Giants fan. And everybody knows that if they want to come over to the house, A, that the Giants will be on, and B, that I'll have anybody over if they want to watch the Giants. Even my friends that aren't Giants fans. You want to come and give me shit for 45 minutes about the Giants? I'm willing to do it. First of all, I missed the game against the Rams because I was on a cruise. The cruise had...
You were so lucky.
The cruise, I left out of Fort Lauderdale. The cruise had New York channels, and I could see it, like, on the sports bar on the cruise before we left the port. And I could see the score, I took a drink. I came home after a week. I immediately deleted it off of my DVR without watching it. And then I watched the San Francisco game, not on TV. I watched it on my phone, on my DirecTV app, while I caught up on my DVR from the week of TV that I missed. And I had the game on mute on my phone in the background. And my wife was like, "Are you not watching the Giant game?" And I was like, "They suck. Like, they don't even deserve to be on my TV."
they
can be on my phone.
Just as watching, you know what? He's like, just turn the Notebook on. You know,
Demi Lovato music video.
That's gonna put me in a better mood than the Giants game.
Yeah.
What's the next? The next home game is. When do they come back home? Is it this week or next week?
It's this week. I'm pretty sure it's this week. Playing Kansas City at home, right?
I think they
know it's at 1:00.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Kansas City at home. Because you know what? I saw something on Twitter where, Harrison Snacks was getting mad at one of the fans about,
he was mad at one of the beat writers. I don't know who it was.
No, this is a different thing. I saw what you put up. Harrison pretty much, to paraphrase, was like, you know what, if you're not going to be at the, you're not going to watch us now, then don't come back when we're good.
Mm-hmm.
And my problem with that is I have no problem with it. Teams are going to lose. I understand that. We've been watching football long enough. We've seen the Giants be good, and we've seen them be bad. I don't care, but this is the first year I've seen this team has put no effort in the past 2 games. It's like they're just mailing it in completely. And this is mid-season. This isn't like week 16, week 17. We've been out of it for weeks. And we're just waiting for the season to be over with, which I can understand in week 17. Hey, I just don't want to get injured. I'm not going to go all out. Understandable.
Think about this, and this might make Giants fans want to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge. It's week 10.
Yep.
The best that the Giants can do is 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, the worst that the Eagles can do is 8-8. And we're in week 10. It's not like we're saying that in week 16. We're in week 10.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of Eagles, the guys at, the app Ticket IQ? There's like a ticket app called Ticket IQ, and they have a pretty big following. They tweeted at me about, like, Giants, the prices of tickets are coming down and stuff like that. And I tweeted back to them, like, oh, wait until, all these opposing fans, see the empty stadiums and want to get really cheap tickets because a bunch of Giants fans aren't going to be going to the game. And they got back to me and said, very true, we're seeing about 21% of visits to the game versus the Eagles coming from Eagles towns. And they put a link. And it's directly, all the sales are coming from Philadelphia area. So it is going to be like a home game. And tickets are starting at $26.
Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness.
And, well, you know what? The simple fact is, if that doesn't make John Mara be like, you know what, maybe we should fire Ben, then I don't know what he needs to do. Honestly, if I'm Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo, I'm already printing out my resume and handing them out secretly.
And Jerry Reese will land again. he has a ring. He has 2 rings.
Yeah, he has 2 rings.
And he's had some home run draft picks. But, nothing lasts forever.
And, he should. He should get another opportunity.
Yeah.
But
his biggest problem is he chose Ben.
Listen, and that you're exactly right. That's exactly right. Well,
but did he?
Well, we know who chose Ben. If we're being honest, right?
Well, you think the owners were like, we want Ben?
No.
You think Eli?
I think it was Eli.
Mhm.
Well, at that point, we let's be honest. We were all for it because the fact was the offense was looking good. Eli he got used to this offense.
Mhm.
We're like, okay, great. And we keep the Spagnola as well. Awesome. We get best of both worlds. We keep our offense and we get rid of the old guy, which was the reason that free agents weren't coming to us. It was because Tom was here.
I'll take it a step further. It's not like when I say that Eli picked Ben, I don't think Eli went in there and was like, I'm angry that you fired Tom Coughlin and you need to hire Ben McAdoo. That's not Eli's makeup. I think what happened is that John Mara, Jerry Reese went in there and they asked Eli. They said, what type of head coach do you want? And he said, I'm comfortable in Ben's offense. Let's bring Ben in. And I say that fully ready to say the next thing in saying that that's a mistake. If you're Jerry Reese and you're John Mara and you're Steve Tisch, it's your responsibility to pick the coach that you want. And if Jerry Reese was short-sighted enough to give Eli's opinion too much of a priority, then he deserves what he gets when he gets fired.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. These head coaches get stuck with the GMs. And actually, Jerry didn't hire Tom Coughlin, right?
No.
So that was Jerry's first head coach he picked, and you saw what he did.
Now that I've started going through the drafts and seeing, 2007 was a good draft, 2008 was a pretty bad one.
Actually, I don't think, I looked at the 2008 draft. Kenny Phillips was good. He just ended up having bad knees.
Yeah, it was more unlucky than bad.
Yeah, and Terrell Thomas was awesome, but then he blew out his knee about 3 different times.
Right, and then Mario Manningham. Right.
And Mario Manningham, which was great until he left the Giants.
Mhm.
So as far as the first 3 picks, I was fine with those.
But as I was going through, 2009 is okay, but there's sometimes some picks are horrible, and then some I'm they're just genius. When he picked Jason Pierre-Paul, no one knew who the hell Jason Pierre-Paul was. Took him 15th in the first round. Everyone was like, who?
Well, I do the draft guru stuff, and he was one of those kids. He was really raw. He was really raw at that point. But obviously, he had all the measurables already. I mean, he was humongous. And the fact that you could bring him in and he didn't have to start immediately was huge for Jerry, because he got to learn behind Strahan, OC, and Justin Tuck. Which, obviously made Spagnuolo the defense coordinator he was when we had like a Hall of Fame defensive front.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's going to be a good year.
Going back to the draft, look how many times Jerry hits on receivers, and how he hits on receivers and he hits on secondary. Every other position is kind of rough.
He's always done decent in the first round.
He also hits on defensive tackle.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Did he pick Linval Joseph?
Yeah, he picked Linval Joseph.
Yep.
So what happened? Like what?
He
got too cute. And then
usually
this past year he traded away draft picks for guys that aren't even on the team anymore. Thanks, Jerry.
Yep.
Great job.
You know what? I just get mad that Jerry's just setting the status quo. You know, the one time I was like, he actually went out and traded for John Beeson. I was like, wow, that was actually a great move.
Yeah, but we were already 0-5 at that. They didn't even think Beeson was going to play.
But the thing is, they got him for a 7th round pick. So
he got injured, and he played like 3 games and got injured.
No, he had a good year that
probably
year.
the next year.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I look at the Giants and the way the Giants value draft capital. And then I look at the Patriots and the way the Patriots view draft capital. And it's 2 completely different philosophies.
Yes.
It's almost like the Giants just thought, we're going to blow our entire load for Eli because he needs talent. And they misfired. But, they're so cavalier with the way that they waste picks. And Bill Belichick treats every pick like it's friggin' gold. And
the one thing I got to say, the Patriots have missed on a lot of draft picks. I just want to put that out there.
You know what? Here's the thing. They have missed quite a bit, but they've hit enough and been able to flip those into enough picks, and the picks that they turn them into are second-round picks, which don't have the financial commitment, which frees up your cap space.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you need a coach like Belichick that adjusts to the talent that's on the team instead of a guy like McAdoo who's like, no, the players adjust to my scheme, period.
It also helps that you have Tom Brady who makes everyone on his team better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot wait till Tom's done. Cannot wait.
It increasingly helps when you have both Brady and Belichick consistent.
Yeah.
And it also helps when Brady is...
Whoa, you got bad on that one.
What happened?
He's fueled up.
And it also helps when Tom Brady is married to Gisele Bundchen, who makes more money than he does, so Tom's willing to take like $10 million to play.
Well, true.
Abby Manning, get a job so Eli can take a pay cut.
He's not taking these huge pay cuts. He's not like he's just like making $10 million. All this money's getting pushed to the end of these contracts. Robert Kraft is going to eventually have to pay him all this money. He just keeps getting pushed. Is he getting paid like some of these other guys? No, but you're absolutely right. he's not worried about the money anyway. Because
Read the
technically,
side about Tom Brady.
If they got divorced, Tom would get alimony from Giselle.
Oh, they're not getting divorced. Because do any of you guys follow Tom Brady on Facebook?
No, we
Absolutely
do
not.
not.
You should. You absolutely should. Last week, like basically 2 days before I went on the cruise, he posted a picture of Giselle Bundchen laying on the beach on her back in the sand, just like on a Tuesday, because that's what Tom Brady can do.
Yeah.
And he's not that attractive. I'm better looking than Tom Brady. That's right. I said it.
Wow. Hot take right there. Justin's coming after Tom Brady. Not football wise, but he's going after his looks.
Tom, if you're listening, call in.
We got about 13 minutes left. I got a question for you guys. What do you think about the WFAN hiring?
I don't know why we didn't put in for it.
Who'd they hire? I missed it.
Oh, my God. They hired
Chris Carlisle or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, he's going to be with Carton, and then it's going to be Bart Scott. And like a trio that's going to replace Mike. Chris Carlin, Maggie Gray, Bart Scott. What happened?
Francesa's done?
Yeah, the 15th. He's done. December 15th.
Oh. Did that happen while I was gone?
He announced it a while ago.
Oh, boy. Back after this.
We're going to have to pour one out for Mike.
Yeah.
But, like, how boring.
Yeah.
How weird is it that Mike Francesa's gone now, and now Mike and Mike are going to be done too?
Mhm.
Yeah. But Golick is going to be with Trey Wingo.
Yeah. Well, it's actually going to be Golick and his son with Trey Wingo.
Yeah. So it's obvious that those guys that they hired were not the correct choices. But who would you guys want to see in there? Like, if you could pick anybody
like to see, show me the J money.
Besides us.
I don't really. I think we should have been top choice.
We would garner a lot of listeners.
Yes, we have.
So we
right
just
now we have
about New York
20.
sports. We got to talk about New York sports, and we do that anyway.
We're
We're throwing the Jets every once in a while, whatever. No one cares.
Yeah.
You know who I think would be good? But he has to be how he is on Twitter? Carl Banks would be pretty good.
Absolutely.
Especially
Jimmy would
when,
call in every day.
Jimmy.
I miss Jimmy. Ever since he got the branch manager job, he doesn't call in on Wednesday nights anymore.
Yep.
Damn responsibility.
Well, he's not that responsible because I argue with him every day during the day.
Yeah. He's big on the Celtics now and going against that child molester from Alabama.
Yeah.
This country's crazy.
And you know what?
Right.
Let's get back to the Giants real quick. You guys see what Eli said when they asked him about Ben?
What did he say?
He pretty much was just like, gave the whole professional line, but he left out that he's like hoping Ben's back next year.
Everything but that?
Yeah, everything but saying like, oh yeah, Ben's gonna fix this and all this other bullshit, and as far as, but never actually saying, yeah, I want Ben back next year.
What about this?
I never said that.
What about this? I just thought of this. So, what if Eli retires from the field and moves up to the front office?
Actually, I would absolutely be curious if he actually did that. Well, how about this? How about we bring Peyton to run the front office?
Forget that. Let's make Peyton the head coach or the offensive coordinator. Let Peyton and Eli figure it out.
Yeah. And I would love when Peyton throw Eli under the bus at a press conference. Well, Eli's not running my offense the way he's supposed to be.
Right.
He should know. He's been running it since he's 6 years old.
I'm going to go beat him up.
I'm going to come in and play for him because obviously he can't run the offense right.
I'm going to hang him upside down.
And give him a noogie.
Yeah, let's bring in Peyton.
How about another Peyton? What about Sean Payton if we could prime away from New Orleans?
No, I don't want to trade for anyone that we're going to have to give up picks to get.
Yeah, I never saw the sense of trading for a coach.
Is that what we would have to do at this point?
Mm-hmm.
I think he signed for a few years.
Yeah, so then that's not worth it.
Nah, because he'll leave as soon as Drew Brees is done. As soon as Drew Brees is done, he'll leave on his own. Sean Payton wouldn't be bad, and he was an ex-Giant coach. We could get John Fox.
No, I don't want John Fox.
Pass.
Pass. What about Harbaugh?
We would have to pay $20 million. We would have to pay $20 million just to sign him to a contract to buy him out.
The Mariners could afford that. It's not like that counts against the cap. That's a decision the Mariners would have to make.
Yeah, me and Jimmy have argued about this, and I'm not on the Harbaugh train. The dude took 49ers to a Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh took 49ers to a Super Bowl, but he was hated in the franchise. They wanted to get rid of him like the next year.
What about?
So that tells
this?
me he's an asshole.
What about this? I'm just throwing this name out there. What about Chip Kelly?
No, he doesn't even have a job in college right now.
Maybe Florida. I heard rumors are looking.
Yeah, I heard Florida.
What about Mike Shanahan?
Mike?
Too old.
Yeah.
65.
Is he only 65?
Yeah. He just looks old.
Yeah, those years haven't been kind to him.
RG3. See, he's been out of the game so long.
Well, honestly, if you took a guy like that, I'd rather than go get John Gruden. I would take John. And all you people who like Bill Cowher, get over Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher wasn't that good coach when he was a Steelers head coach.
The thing about Gruden is you'd have to convince him that it's okay to play against his brother twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, Peyton and Eli wouldn't even play in the same conference because they didn't want to meet in any place but the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. What other coaches are out there?
As far as coaches, that's
We're going to
tough.
fire this guy. We're going to fire this guy. We're going to have no one to replace him.
Rex Ryan?
Yeah. Well, no, absolutely not Rex Ryan. You come back to New York?
Rob Ryan.
Yes.
These two fat asses are getting in fights in bars. And how old are they? With each other?
They spent what?
Josh
1 year.
McDaniels?
1 year in Buffalo. That's what they learned.
2 years he was in Buffalo. They loved him out there, but obviously Sean McDermott's a way better coach. He took half the talent that Rex had, and they're a better team.
Mm.
Well, and that's the other thing I want to put out there for Tom Brady. He's also Tom Brady and Belichick have gotten the advantage of playing in literally the worst division in the league for the past how many years?
Right.
Buffalo hasn't made the playoffs in 20 years.
And the Jets are so inconsistent.
Yeah, and the Jets are the Jets. And Miami's starting Jay Cutler right now.
Enough said.
There you go. As far as coaches out there, I really don't. I want to know who's the next Sean McVay. I'd rather have a young kid, that's just on top of this shit, honestly.
The other guy that I see that's like that, I think, but it's on the other side of the ball, is Matt Patricia.
I was reading stuff on Twitter, and I don't know how true it is. They were saying Matt Patricia has no want to be a head coach.
So he's completely in on the Belichick Kool-Aid.
Yeah. And I guess I wouldn't be horribly pissed off with Josh McDaniels. But I saw what he did in Denver, and I wasn't impressed.
What about Lovie Smith? He's in Illinois right now, but
he interviewed for the Win Ben. I wouldn't hate Lovie Smith. I wouldn't hate it.
Win Ben?
Yeah, he interviewed when Ben was.
Wow.
Technically, supposedly, Hugh Jackson was actually, almost got the job.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I would have loved Hugh Jackson, honestly, over Ben.
Yeah, but supposedly he chose He chose
Cleveland over New York.
Cleveland.
I highly doubt that.
So crazy.
That's what they said.
So you're telling me Giants actually offered Hugh Jackson the job, and he's like, nah, I got Cleveland.
I don't think there was an official offer out there. They were leaning towards it or moving there.
Yeah, it was just widely known.
That direction, and Cleveland came in quicker, I guess.
Is that where our franchise is now, that people choose Cleveland over going to New York?
No, Hugh Jackson's just an idiot.
I just lost respect for Hugh Jackson.
Listen, Hugh Jackson's involved in the decision not to draft Deshaun Watson, which is an error in judgment.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you.
To Mark on Facebook, yes, I read the comments. I don't care if you hate this podcast. I know you can't sell your Giants tickets. And he said he needed to watch the tape 7 times. Okay, you corrected me. It's not 11 times. It's 7 times. Hold on. Let me give you an applause button. Hold on. Here it is.
Wait, did you say he hates the podcast?
Did you say you hated the podcast?
Yeah, I hate this podcast.